Hey guys, welcome to Sippin' and Spillin' with Sid from 3 Mississippi. It is a crisp, chilly day. It's beautiful out. Uh, it's gorgeous. Frankie and I are going to go run into Starkville and run a few errands. And then I think just chill and watch a movie today. We've kind of just been having family time. um, Frankie's doing a church lock-in um, just ahead of New Year's here. And so she's looking forward to that. And we've just been kind of we had a girls' day yesterday with my friend Beth and her daughter Morgan, and we're going to have one more before they go back to school. We're actually going to go, and I'm going to film it. We're going to drive up to Memphis um, because we were getting the girls. They wanted another hole in their ear, and that was like my Christmas gift to Morgan, and her parents were fine with it, of course. She's 14. And, but in Mississippi, you can't go to a piercing shop to get your ear pierced if you're under 18, even with parental consent. It's a law, which I was unaware of when I called to make the appointment to go down there and do this for the girls. So that was kind of strange because I did say on the phone, and I called them twice to like verify the time and date and all of that. I said, I'm bringing my daughter and her friend. So I'm surprised they didn't say, oh, wait, how old is your daughter? Because that would have negated the whole thing. But it was fine. We still had a lovely day. We grabbed a bite to eat. The girls had gift cards to go spend at Ulta that they'd gotten for Christmas. So we went there and just kind of walked around and did some shenanigans. And Morgan has a Sadie Hawkins dance coming up, so we got her a dress for that while we were out. So, which was nice because it's always good to have people's opinions or whatever. And so we had a really nice girls' day, but that's the reason we're going to drive to Memphis, which it's like 2.5 hours away from here to Memphis. So not too far, but kind of. So we're going to get an early start and head out there. But we're going to go to the Bass Pro up there because Frankie has been wanting to go to that since she figured out that it was so close to where we live now. She loves going to Bass Pro and Cabela's and things like that and walking around. And we hit a bunch of them on our way here, but we did not when we were moving from California. We hit several of them. We hit the big one in Arkansas, and I don't even remember what states we were in. To be honest, that 3-day drive, a bit of a blur for me. But we did stop at several of them. And so, that being said, by the time we got to Memphis and only being 2.5 hours away, we did not stop because we had already stopped that day, I believe, in Arkansas at the big one. And I was like, we are so close, guys. I would really like to be able to get into the house, get a few things unloaded, and be able to sleep like a good night's sleep tonight because I had been about 4 days with naps at that point from the move. So I was like, I need a good night's sleep. I've been driving. So, um, anyway, so Frankie's super excited about that. And I'm looking forward to it because I haven't really, and I know Memphis is dangerous, just like, any big city. But I did grow up in a big city. So I am pretty good at being aware of what's going on around me and, kind of knowing my area a little bit. So I'm not too worried. Um, and Beth actually lived in South Haven for a while, which is a hop, skip, and a jump over the state line from Memphis. So she has spent a lot of time there and knows the area. So she's actually going to do the driving for that trip. So because she knows the area a lot better than I do. So I think it's gonna be another fun girls' day. And I always look at it too. I have been feeling guilty because leading up to Christmas, there was getting things ready for Christmas and baking and cooking and bake sales at church and the soup thing at church and all a lot of things going on in the community that we were doing and with our group of family and friends. And so I was kind of feeling guilty because I have not been putting out our normal amount of videos on either channel really. And then I was sick in the midst of all that for a while. So I've been feeling guilty about that. But then I was thinking about it this morning as I was taking a shower and stuff. And I was like, Frankie's 13. I don't have a whole lot more winter breaks left with her where she's home. And so if I slack off a little bit on some things because she wants to spend time with me, or because she wants to watch a movie, or because she wants to go have a girls' day, I'm gonna do it. Because I don't, she's my only child, and I only get one shot at this, and so I don't want to blink and miss it. So if she wants to go and have a girls' day, then by golly, if I can swing it, we're gonna do it. Um, so and there's a few things that video wise that we have lined up, but we're not doing them yet because we're waiting on some other things. So it's, how that is when you're waiting on material, or you're waiting on the time, or you're waiting on X, Y, and Z. So anyway, stuff like that. But I wanted to show you guys, which I might have kind of shown you the other day, but I'm going to show you today. So this little spot right here where we have the barbecue, there's a little concrete pad right here kind of that goes out into the flower bed. Pardon all the leaves, it's that time of year. I need to go through here and gut all of this, but that's a project for another day. But there's a couple of hooks, big hooks. Let's see, right there and right there where I have that wind chime. So those two big hooks had a swing there on the front porch. And when we moved in, that was one of those things. I was like, oh, I would love to put a swing there. But, we had all of our patio furniture, and then we ended up getting these chairs, these rocking chairs, which I love, for the front porch from a sponsor. So that was awesome. And they're actually very comfortable, because Adirondack chairs, they look good, but I've never found them comfortable. And I feel like these are a happy medium between, me wanting a rocking chair and the look of an Adirondack. I really like these. Anyway, Lubona. If you guys are interested, there's a video. I think it was actually the video during the time when Nash was sick, our other livestock guardian. But Mike got me, in fact, I haven't even fully unwrapped it, as you can see, because it's unfinished. But this is what it's going to look like hanging. And he said he measured it, so it's going to fit. I got Bunko on my back, climbing up my back. But anyway, so it's unfinished. See if I can find a little piece of it so you guys can see. See, it's unfinished. So, but it's just like plain, plain wood. So I think what I'm going to do is stain it kind of a midline stain color, because I think that would look really neat, because we're going to go a little bit more rustic as we change things, a little bit more cabiny. We've got a project in mind that, fingers crossed, we can at least get a good way into, if not completely finish, for the back patio where there's that concrete slab, to make an outdoor kitchen. And we'd love to have that before we host Freedom Weekend, Freedom, here in the South, because that'll make life a little bit easier. We have some plans for some temporary things that we're going to do, but then there's some things that we're going to do that are like long term that we're going to have for being able to entertain outside. But because the weather is nice here, a lot more than people realize. So I'm excited. This is going to be a project probably within the next 2 weeks, pulling this out, getting, obviously I still have to get the stain for it. I thought about doing the gray stain like I did on part of the chicken coop, but I think I'm going to go with a more like a wood color. And Sir over here just has to be in everything. And then Mike got me, while I'm at it, Mike got me this really pretty bird's nest. And the cool part is, I don't know if you can see those little squares on the back. Let's see if I can pop one here. They open all the way. So you could steal the baby birds. I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I'm just saying you could. I just find that fascinating that you could like really peek in on them if you had really docile like wild birds. But anyway, this needs stain too, because again, raw wood. So whatever stain I end up doing on that, I'll do on this too. And I'll have this all ready for spring. I'm excited about that. And then he also got me the shepherd hooks that go like in your yard to hang the bird feeders. So I can hang them a little bit further out in the yard in the spring and summer, like these bad boys. See, I got my wrapping paper on there and everything. I just chunked it all outside and kind of left it out here because I'm like, that's another project. Excuse me. But but I can, you know, kind of have them out here. So the idea is I can put some, because I think there's like 4 hooks in there. Yeah, all together. So it's 2 separate hooks, but one on each side. So I could put one so it's kind of between the porch and that big bay window. So like when you're in the living room, you could see the birds swarming around it. And I'll maybe put, especially since we're going to have the swing over here, I usually hang, you know, my hummingbird feeder. I usually have one up here, one, 2, 3. I think I have 4 or 5 of them now. Anyway, I can hang some out there so I don't have quite as many up here, and have some out in the yard a little ways. So I'm kind of excited about that. Obviously, won't be able to put those out for a while because it's December still for the next few days, and that's definitely something more for you know, after the last frost. In March is when the birds start kind of coming through here. So, you know, they always say, you know, put it out 2 weeks before, so that the early birds have something when they get here. And then you always leave it, you know, about a week or so past when they say, to help, you know, any stragglers. So but you'll notice pretty quickly, like this year, it was slammed. I had there was no room at the inn. I had every single feeder. I had birds. And the next day, not a single hummingbird. So I waited until the next morning and I pulled them all and washed them out and stowed them for the season. So they tell you, nature knows. They knew it was gonna, they were done. It was their time to go migrate further south for the winter. So so it's pretty impressive, I thought, you know, for such little birds. And they come back year after year. It's a cool thing about hummingbirds. You know, they have their home base and then they just keep coming back to that same spot if it's a good spot. And I know I had found a little hummingbird nest in our gardenia bush over here. So that was kind of neat. And they'll come back to the same area for that too. So I've just left it in the bush. But even our gardenia bush, it's still confused. Like, look at this. It started to bloom, but like in October. Oh, my sad little rain gauge has fallen over yet again. But you can see behind me, it's still like, normally there's nothing on this right now, and that one's super thick. It's the weather has been confused. The weather has been confused, but that, you know, that's all right. These things happen. There's a pen down here. I find some interesting things that get unearthed out here sometimes. It's just fascinating. Just enjoy the wind chimes. But guys, too, I just want to ask you to, you know, I know David from Come On Homesteading has been real sick. So, you know, those of you that follow David at Come On, you know, send him some love. He's not feeling good. And it's one of those things where I always feel bad when I hear that some of the family in Arkansas is under the weather or not doing well, because I'm far away and I can't just like bring them chicken soup, or, you know, because we're like 6 hours away. So it's not just like, oh, I can just run up there and drop off some soup, you know. It's definitely more of a, hey, we're going to go stay up there for a few days for a meetup or whatever, you know. So I feel bad. I can't bring them some elderberry syrup and I can't bring them some soup. And so, which reminds me, I've got frozen elderberries in there, and my neighbor said she was almost out of her elderberry syrup. So I got to make her some more because we got to keep Miss Ann healthy. So I got to make her some more elderberry syrup with my berries that I froze. Because I didn't want to make too much at once because it is only good for 6 months in the fridge. So I'm kind of exhausted what we have now. So I've got like one more big, what? Excuse me, sir. Sir, why are we climbing me? So much. Ow, 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 ow. Oh, it's because you're trying to chew on my strings. But anyway, guys, and there's my child. We're gonna hit the road, but I appreciate you guys. And as always,
safety's off.
Safety's off. And Happy New Year.
Yeah, that's it.